here's kind of the list of questions I would recommend you walk through if you decide, hey, we're going to go to RPOs, or how deep do we want to dive in this? Because you can get super deep in RPOs, and that can be an awesome thing. Or you can minor in them. And so that's the first question. Do you want to major in RPOs and spend a lot of time on this stuff? Or do you want to minor in RPOs and use them to help kind of spruce up your offense or give you some kind of explosive plays? Neither answer is wrong, but you need to know the answer to that to see how far you want to go in here. Second question you got to do is, do I want to protect my runs? Am I putting an RPO in because teams are stacking the box and I can't run the ball anymore? And that's why I'm going to RPOs. That's why I do RPOs. But there are other guys that do RPOs because they want to throw the ball. Like, they want to throw the ball. They want to throw it on the RPO. They want to pull it. So you got to figure out, what are you trying to do in that area? The third thing you have to answer if you're going to go deep into the RPO world is, what are you going to do about man zero? Because that's the defense's, automatic answer to RPOs. If they're scared of RPO, let's go man zero or man one or man whatever. How are you going to handle that? The fourth thing you got to answer, and Coach McManus is going to talk a lot about this, so I'm going to leave a lot of it alone. How much do you want to run your quarterback? Because if you want to run your quarterback, man, you can get deep in these RPOs and there's some nasty stuff. Or you can say, no, man, I only got one quarterback. I can't run them. Well, that's going to limit what kind of RPOs you can do. So after you've kind of walked through those questions, then you start designing your system. And I'll show you, there are some years from the stuff I'm showing you today, we ran all of it. And there are some years, because of these questions, we only ran half of it because either our quarterback couldn't handle it, or we didn't have a good backup quarterback, or whatever the reason is. So then you have RPO levels. So RPO levels, for us, there's really, I think, 3 levels of RPO, but a lot of people consider it to be 4. So the first one is what I don't call an RPO, but a lot of people do, is when they'll just attach a screen to a run. Okay, so it could be a now or a bubble, but it's not really decided after the snap. It's all pre-snap. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that stuff. That's good stuff, but it's not an RPO. It's not something that you're reading after the snap. We like these. We ran a lot of these this year. They're not RPOs. I liked them because I could signal the quarterback before the play. So that was the pro. Was a very easy to install, and it's an easy read. If you have 3 guys and they have 2 guys, you throw the screen. And even as a coach, I could signal that before the snap to throw it. Okay. The cons to those are, you're limited on pre-snap reads. So if they roll late, you're kind of in trouble. And you're not going to get a ton of explosive plays. You're throwing fast screens, unless your kid's just a great athlete, you're going to get 5-6 yards, which that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But that's not going to be very explosive. Okay. All right. So the next one for me is really a true first level RPO, where we're going to read a defensive lineman that's attached with a screen. So we're going to keep the screen. We're also going to read a first level defensive player, which is a defensive lineman generally. Pros for these, they're not super difficult. You got to have verbiage to handle it. I'm going to show you some of ours. Cons for it, just like the first one, you're not going to get super explosive plays, and it is a little more expensive because now you're letting him read and he can run or he can throw, so that you've kind of got into that first level. You're in the shallow pool as far as RPOs go. Okay. Then the next one, second level RPOs. So now I'm going to read a second level defender. So a linebacker or a safety or somebody who's rolled down at linebacker level. Okay. The pros, these are going to be more explosive plays. You can still read these and run the quarterback. The other pro is, now those of you who don't want to run your quarterback, you can read these and it's a throw. So you don't have to run him. So that's a big pro for me. One year I had a quarterback that was hurt most of the year. We ran a ton of this stuff. We didn't want him running it. We wanted him pulling it and throwing it. Okay. So it's a good kind of balance there. The con, it is a little more difficult to read. The risk goes up. It's kind of risk reward. Both goes up because if you throw it and then you're not supposed to, that's a turnover. If you pull it and get tackled for a loss of 2, no big deal. But on these, they've got to read them well. and they're a little more expensive. They take a little more time to install. The final RPO level is a third level read. So we're going to read a DB, a safety, usually. You could read a corner, okay? These, the pros are, if you hit these, they're generally touchdowns, okay? Or you're really going to scare the DBs to stay back, okay? The con are they're very hard to read. The example I'm going to show you guys today, we misread it. We actually handed the ball off. If we had seen it and pulled it, we had a touchdown, okay? So the cons are they're tough, and a lot of times they've got to be a same side RPO. Before I walk all the way into RPOs, I always try to say this. RPOs are awesome, but if you suck at running the ball because you're not coaching up how to run the ball well, they're not going to help you, because you can get the numbers right, but you still got to block them. So make sure you don't just think, oh, I can put an RPO in and spend less time coaching up how to run the ball. You know, you really need to still be good at what you do, okay? So Playside issues for us, the number one Playside issue is the inside linebacker. We have a hard time reading him, and I'm really excited to hear Coach McManus today talk, because I'm hoping he gives me some stuff on that. We're still working on that. Interior defensive lineman. So here's the different answers we would have inside of our offense. You can run jet read, okay, or power read, what a lot of people would call that, to read an inside linebacker, or read a 5 technique or a 9 technique to the play side. If I want to read an interior defensive lineman, you can run inside veer or midline. A lot of wing T teams have gone to that. Okay, that's something we're playing around with. We'll see how it goes. And then, of course, a 5 or 9 jet read. If you want to read a DB, that strong safety rolling down making tackles, we'll run a lot of vertical type routes there and try to read him. He wants to spin down, we're going to try to throw it over his head. So you can play action that, but you can also RPO that. Okay, so that's what we're going to look at here. I've got 2 play sides, because I know Coach is going to hit a lot of QB run stuff. And then I'm going to do a whole bunch of backside here for you the next 10 minutes, okay? All right, so this is going to be our version of jet, but I'm going to read this inside linebacker, okay? So we're not going to read that. We can read this guy too, but we're going to read this inside linebacker. So he's the problem. So our play side solution, we're going to read him. Now notice, I think it's 3rd or maybe even 4th and 3 here. Okay, we're going to read that inside linebacker. I'm going to try to go slow, because I know video is terrible on Zoom. So I'm going to try to go slow and let y'all kind of see it. So here comes our motion. Remember, we're reading him. We're reading the inside linebacker to the play side. So there goes jet. You'll see the quarterback ride it. That guy's taking off to kill jet, okay, because we had been reading the 5 technique. We changed it to read him because he was making tackles. Okay, so now we're going to read him. There goes your ride. The quarterback has seen him take off. We pull it, okay, and then we're up the gut right there for the first down, which is a big first down for us that week. I'll go ahead and play it full speed here. So there it is, pull, up inside, first down, okay? So that's a play side read. Okay, it's not really an RPO because we're not throwing it, and a lot of teams are running power read. You can run these same concepts with the pass. We're just not at that level yet, okay? That's a typical one. Here's when we're talking about reading the 3rd level player. So we were supposed to be reading this safety right here with this receiver right here. We're going to run buck sweep because that's what we do. This guy had been crack blocking about all night. Well, now he's going to slip it, get inside of this corner. We're not even reading him. We're going to get right here and down the pipe and read this kid right here. Now, it's wide open. We just completely missed it. I'll play it full speed and we'll slow it down. You watch the receiver. Boom, boom, he's open. We just didn't stay with the read on it. You can see me over here yelling at the quarterback because he actually was looking the wrong direction. He's supposed to be reading this kid right here, okay? So we're running a crack and go. Here's your buck. You can see right here. There's the defender. The quarterback's eyes should have been here, and we're going to try to throw the ball there. That's a 3rd level, same side RPO play that we missed. But you can see how it would be a very, very explosive play. Like I mentioned, those are hard to read. Those are expensive, but they're worth it because if you hit it, that's probably a touchdown or at least a 20-some-odd yard gain, okay? So I'm going to mainly deal with backside. I think I've got about 10 minutes here. Mainly deal with backside issues that we deal with when we run strong side run plays. So the issues we have are backside inside linebacker, an interior defensive lineman, or a 5 technique. Those are the ones that we want to build in answers for inside of our offense. So again, the levels you're going to read. If you want to read the first level, you're going to read a defensive lineman. So we're going to go through what we call steel and stovepipe. I'm low on time, so I'm going to hit those pretty quick, but you'll see them. Second level, we want to read the inside linebacker, okay? And then the third level I actually showed you. We run that mainly on the play side, which is going to be reading that safety that's rolling down. So as we're going through, we want to read a level 1. We're going to read this kid right here. So if he squeezes, we're going to pull it, okay? We call steal. That's a blocking term. So our call would be red, steal, which tells that quick tackle to block out and tells the quarterback to read the 4, okay? And then we would tag whatever screen we're going to run with that. In this case, it would be BOGO, bubble go, okay? So for us, this is actually steal with a fast screen. So we're going to read this defensive lineman right here. If he chases, we'll pull it, okay? Nice and simple. He chases, you can see the quarterback right here on the snap. He's staring at him. We're not blocking him. If he chases, we'll pull it. And we pull it and take off running, okay? Now, as we develop more with our quarterbacks, they can read it all the way out if they want to. So we're running a fast screen right here. So he could, if you're looking at inexpensive RPOs, they've killed the fast screen. They got 2-on-2 and they're in press coverage. But after he pulls it right here, we allow him, he can still throw that fast screen. So that's kind of our, okay, we can read first level and come back almost like a pitch off an option. Of course, he gained a bunch of yards, no reason to throw it, but you can see where that kind of expands your offense horizontally. So first level RPOs are horizontal. Okay, can we stretch the defense horizontally? All right.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. And that's really, really cool what Coach was talking about, because everything he's talking about, we're doing we're essentially doing the same stuff. It's just out of different personnel and different formations. So, you know, there's a couple different ways I categorize RPOs, and this is in definite alignment with what Coach is doing. We have 3 categories, and this is kind of how I categorize them and how I teach them. We do the first RPO that we teach is a first and second level read post snap. And going back to what Coach said, that's your modern day triple option, where we're running inside zone, or we're running guard tackle counter, or even buck sweep or something like that, where we're reading the defensive end, and then the quarterback has the ability to hand the ball off or pull it based on the eyes of the defensive end. We always read the eyes of the defensive end. Typically, his eyes are going to be on his responsibility. So if the defensive end chases the back or the dive on the inside zone, then the quarterback has the ability to pull it, and then he's going to take it and attack the second level defender, who becomes his second read. So it's a first and second level read post snap, okay? When we're reading that second level defender, just like Coach had, we'll have a bubble screen. We'll have what's called a now route. We've done bubble slant. We've done a speed out. There's a couple different things we can do. And of course, this running or throwing is taking place out of the pocket, okay? It's not an in the pocket read, okay? Our second level read is post snap in the pocket, okay? And what that is we're actually going to block the box with the offensive line, and we are reading a second level defender, whether it's an outside linebacker who we can't block on an outside run, or we're blocking a linebacker in the box, and we're going to control him with some type of route, okay? And then our third one is a third level read RPO in the pocket, and that's where we're running an inside run play or even an outside run play, and we're taking advantage of a drop safety, which typically is some type of slant or some type of a speed out or something of that nature. So those are our 3 categories. A little backstory of us offensively: we have never really played a true drop back quarterback. We have always kind of had an athlete at quarterback. So most of our RPO game has been tailored toward the quarterback run game, okay? So the first one that we love to run, we love running the trap play out of 10 personnel, okay? So we call that kick, and it is just our trap play where we're going to take that guard and we're going to kick the backside 5 technique, okay? We can't run it versus a 4-2 box because they have an extra guy, but we can run it versus a 4-2. We can run it versus a 3-2. You don't have enough versus a 3-3. So what we started doing was running the quarterback trap play, and then we're taking advantage of this wheel linebacker by running a wheel route with the back, okay? So essentially what we're running is quarterback trap. He's going to take 2 shuffle steps, and then he's going to attack the line of scrimmage, and he's going to make this wheel linebacker make a decision, okay? If the wheel carries the wheel route by the running back, the quarterback's just going to keep it and run it in that vacated area. If the wheel triggers and commits to the quarterback, he's going to kind of throw the wheel route on the run, okay? So I've got a couple good clips of that. So again, we can run the trap play versus a 4-1, okay? And a lot of places, guys, we get this rail coverage to trips where they'll take that backside safety and play 3 vertical, and then they'll play man coverage on the back and the single. Okay, so this is ideal play for that because this guy actually has the back, okay? So you can kind of see, I'm just going to run it here. The quarterback's going to take 2 shuffles, and then he's going to attack the line of scrimmage, okay? And then we're going to force that wheel linebacker to make a decision. In this instance, the wheel linebacker runs with the back, so the quarterback just keeps it, all right? That's a really, really good play. Now, this team was actually cutting our D lineman, which is pretty bad. Okay, so sorry it looks so sloppy. Let me get to the end zone copy here. So we're going to block down. We're going to kick that in. Now, this was early in the year. I really want my quarterback getting up into the line of scrimmage if he's going to throw it, okay? And he got better later in the year of doing that. All right, he sees the linebacker run with the wheel route by the back. He just keeps it. It really, really puts those guys in conflict. All right, one of the things, too, when we talk about our RPO game is I always want to try to put the defense in as much conflict as possible, guys. All right, I want to give as many false reads to the D linemen and to the linebackers as possible. All right, so you can see this is another different quarterback, different season. Okay, so we're going to read this guy right here. Again, we don't have enough to run the trap play versus a 4-2, but we can run it versus with this concept right here. That a huge coaching point on the back is he wants to run 3 steps flat, and then he wants to make sure he's running that wheel route right down the numbers, okay? He does not want to be too wide, all right? You see the quarterback shuffle, and this guy's kind of in a conflict, so he goes ahead and throws it to the back on the wheel route. All right, I'll let that run right there. Okay, now, one coaching point. If these defensive ends squeeze and spill it, the guard's going to do what we call a log technique, and if the quarterback keeps it, he's going to jump cut out of it, okay? If we kick the 5 technique, the quarterback's going to hit the play in B gap.
Coaches, Rick Stewart with All Access Coaching, where we're all about coaches helping coaches. Thanks for watching the video, and I've got to ask, please hit the subscribe and like button below. The like button really helps us with valuable data as to what videos to make and upload in the future to help you out. And the subscribe button will notify you when we upload new content to the channel. This channel is not specific to an offense or a defense. It's not even specific to Rick Stewart. I fly over the country filming college coaches and state championship coaches about their offenses, about their drills, about practices, about defense, about program building, team building, fundraising, and weight training. It's all about coaches helping coaches. So thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe and like below. And as always, better today, but never as good as tomorrow.